Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Target Focused Life. Today, we have the Fabarm Elos D2, and to help us go through it all, Travis Mears.
Hey Steve, thanks for having me.
If you're looking for a detailed and in-depth review, you've come to the right place. Let's go! So I'm excited to take a look at this gun today. We got a chance to hunt with it a little bit yesterday. We're gonna dive into it, go through it in detail. But first, if you're not familiar, this is my buddy Travis Mears, sporting clay champion shooter, exhibition shooter, range owner.
A little bit of everything. I just like to be around shotguns and clay targets every day.
Yeah, and we're having a lot of fun. We're out here at Greystone Castle in Mingus, Texas.
Yeah, this place is incredible.
You've been here a bunch.
Yeah, it's fortunately about an hour west of my house, and when we say Greystone Castle, not only is it the name, but it's physically a castle, and it's pretty epic.
Yeah, and so we got the opportunity to hunt with this gun yesterday. Now we're diving in, doing the full review. So this is the Elos D2. Right. Upland hunting shotgun, available in 12, 20, and 28. We shot it yesterday in this 20 gauge version. Extremely lightweight. With that, let's just jump right into the specs.
Right.
I already mentioned what bore configurations it comes in. $33.95 MSRP, which I feel like is a pretty nice spot for this type of shotgun.
You know, with the engraving and all the things coming with that, I think that's right in the wheelhouse, isn't it?
I would love to shoot this in 28.
That'd be fun.
I think that would be a sick gun, honestly. But we did both enjoy shooting this in the 20 gauge version. The weight on this shotgun, 5 pounds, 8 ounces, according to what Fabarm says. 12 gauge should be about 6 pounds, 1 ounce. 20 gauge, 5 pounds, 8 ounces. And 28 gauge is actually the same exact weight on their website. But we don't like to take their word for it. We're gonna throw it on a scale. Now, obviously, you see some variation in shotguns, even the same model.
Has a lot to do with the length of the barrel and density of the wood, right, Steve?
That's right. 5 pounds, 12 ounces. What'd they say? 5 pounds, 8 ounces. So this one's slightly heavier, but we hunted with another shotgun yesterday.
Right. Yesterday we had the Elos Elite also, which is slightly heavier.
It's about a pound heavier.
Right.
But I tell you, when I held that Elite, I thought, this shotgun feels great.
Right.
But then you held them side by side, or you switched them. When we switched them out, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and we put in a bunch of steps yesterday in carrying that thing. You know, I would never shy from a pound up or a pound down, but when we switched over, it was pretty noticeable.
Yeah, and I mean, walking all day long, that's really where these light guns shine, is you're going to be spending long days in the field. You're not shooting high volume.
Right. And
it makes a significant difference. Now, when it comes to recoil and reliability, we'll get to that in a minute, but one thing that really stood out to me, the marginal difference between the Elite, which is a pound heavier, and this gun. Yeah, I noticed it a little bit more, but it wasn't significant.
Right. And, you know, again, in our hunting scenarios, typically we're not shooting high volume. You know,
although we did shoot pretty good volume yesterday.
We did. Here at Greystone, their upland field is pretty incredible, and so we got into a bunch of birds. And we had the opportunity to shoot 2 different guns multiple times and really get a feel for it, so that was fun.
Yeah, that was a great way to really put a gun to the test. You know, we do these reviews all the time, and we don't always get the opportunity to take them afield and hunt and, you know, put the high volume through them. But so that was a lot of fun. Let's take a look at stock dimensions. We're 14 5/8, and that's coming with this 12 millimeter pad. You can get longer pads if you need to extend that length of pole. The drop goes from about 1.5 inches to 2 1/4. So we have 3/4 inch drop along the comb. Now this is a right-handed model, which basically means we're cast off and toe out. A little bit of palm swell there for the right-handed shooter. There are left-handed models available. 28-inch barrels is the only option that this comes with.
Right.
And a big way that they achieve this lighter weight is an alloy receiver.
Alloy is how the lighter weight is accomplished, but super reliable. We tested that.
You know, one thing that shies people away, especially, I mean, a target shooter, you think of an alloy, you're like, well, I'm not trusting an alloy in a target gun.
Right.
Fabarm has made some upgrades to this gun. We'll get into that. That should last to more durability, longer lifespan. We'll get into that when we break the shotgun down. Now, this gun does come with 5 flush-mounted chokes, and is it pretty much all the Fabarms run the inner HP system?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we've got 2 in the gun here, and I'll give you the case with the other 3 chokes and choke wrench.
So we were shooting yesterday, improved cylinder.
On the bottom barrel and modified on the top barrel.
And then, so you run the gamut here from cylinder, improved cylinder, mod, improved mod, and full.
Right.
And then it comes with this fancy choke wrench.
Pretty clever in my opinion. You know, a choke wrench is a choke wrench, but not only is it going to remove the choke, but it's also got reverse threading, and so that If you had carbon buildup or anything like that, you can use this to clean the threads, and in my opinion, that's pretty unique.
Yeah, I like that. You can tell when Fabarm makes their guns, there's a lot of attention to detail. They're well thought out. Now, I might not always agree with what they think, but they're well thought out. As far as ergonomics, let's jump into that. That's just the function, the feel. Slight right palm swell. This grip is great to get into, honestly. The reach is a little bit short. Actually, mounted up, it feels
about right.
Maybe slightly short, but
yeah, I feel like field guns are a little bit shorter.
Generally.
Trigger to pistol grip length.
Yeah.
It's got an oil finish, super easy to maintain.
Some nice detail on there. What do we have? We have a pheasant.
We got a pheasant on this side, and when we flip it over, you got 2 grouse.
You got any grouse down here?
No, that's why I asked you, what is this bird? I think it's a grouse, but I've never physically seen one.
You got to come up to Minnesota and hunt some rough grouse sometime.
Yeah, I heard y'all just walk around all day and get like 1 bird or something.
Is that what Jordan told you? Yeah, that was basically his experience. This is where this gun would really shine, in my opinion. It being so light, it is a little whippy.
Right.
Especially compared to that Elite. I shot the Elite a little bit better.
Right.
But those quick moving shots, you're just seeing moving and shooting on instinct.
Yeah.
This gun would really shine. Or in a scenario where, you know, we're chasing birds all day long, but do more walking than we are shooting. I've done that as well, hunting quail throughout the United States. I've put on 10 miles in a day and not shot once.
Get a couple coveys at best.
Yeah, in that case, light is very, very good. But ergonomically speaking, nice checkering. The nickel plated with the scroll looks beautiful. The trigger, I never really played with the trigger too much. Crisp trigger, not a lot of pre-travel there, really no pre-travel. I didn't notice anything negative about it when I was in the field.
Right.
Seabird, moved a bird, pulled trigger.
Went off
bird
when you
fly
wanted
away.
it to. Bird fly away. Well, I had your back a few times. Ooh.
4 pounds, 7.7 ounces. Let's do that again. These are inertia triggers. 4 pounds, 8 ounces. So we're sub 5 pound trigger. Real nice trigger. Moving forward, Schnabel forend, which I like on Upland guns, honestly.
Here in the back, I always think in a hunting gun and safety is important. Just because I need to get it off really quick when either before or after the bird's flush. It's got that little bit of texture to it, and it pushes forward pretty easy. I think that's pretty key for a field gun.
Nothing drives you crazier than taking a gun that you're not familiar with and struggling with the safety in the field, whether it's hard to get on or off, or for me personally, the auto safeties. Every time you open them and close them, it's back on safe. I don't know about you, but I got my shells in the gun. I prefer to walk with it open. And then when we're getting into action, you know, like yesterday we had pointers, we're walking up, closing up, getting ready, and I know my gun's ready to go.
Right. And, you know, me coming from the clay target sports with the majority of my shooting, we don't use the safety much at all. And so it has to be fairly easy in the field for me to not mess up and let a bird get away, you know?
Yeah, same. But the safety, you know, thanks for mentioning that. It is extremely easy. Barrel selector, you got single barrel, which would be your
single dot's going to be your bottom barrel, your double dot's going to be your top barrel.
Looking at the barrels, just a matte black finish, vented rib. It is a flat rib, right? No step up on that.
One thing I like about field guns is they've got a little bit more narrow rib.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that on the Elos D2.
Yeah, not much for visual obstruction, just a brass bead on the front. One thing I really noticed yesterday working this gun is just how great the action feels.
Smooth?
Yeah, smooth, and to me it's like the right amount of tension. You know, it's not floppy, but it's not, you're not ripping on it to get it open or close it. Just like, just close your eyes and that's just...
You get that nice click when it engages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really hard to explain for video purposes, but you feel it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Ergonomically, I thought it was great. I had no complaints. Easy to use in the field.
You, the first time you shot that gun yesterday, the birds were flushing your way. You shot 3 quail, 3 shots, and you're immediately like, man, I love this thing. And I think, you know, that's always encouraging me, kind of that first impression when you get a new gun in your hands.
One little other detail to point out just on the ergonomics and the looks here is this nickel is brushed, and they changed the texture in a few different spots, or the brush stroking. And then up on the top side of the receiver here, there's just some finer detail that I think looks really, really nice. Especially at the price point that this gun's at. We're not talking a $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 shotgun. Ejectors, a lot of field guns you'll see extractors, not ejectors. Do you have thoughts on that? Which one you prefer?
Definitely ejectors.
Yeah?
Definitely ejectors, because when I push that over and get the shells, I want them to pop into my hand and go in the bag, and the next two are going in, especially when you had those quail flushing yesterday, and you know, they're one after another, and as fast as I can get loaded, the more opportunity I've got to put birds in the bag. So
right, yeah, when you're hot in action, I guess there's times where it's like when things are slow, you get a shot, you're not going to see a bird for another 20 minutes, and you know, you just casually take them out, stick them in. But okay, enough ergonomics. We need to shoot this bad boy.
We like doing it.
We're going to look at recoil and reliability. So what are we shooting for shells?
Standard target, dove quail loads.
And this is what we were hunting with yesterday?
It is. Yeah.
So I mean, we were down in pheasants, chuckers, quail.
7/8 ounce, 12-10s, 7.5s.
Okay.
Pretty basic. Let's see if we can't break a few targets. Steve, let's start with the 5. Okay, 5 is a basic incomer. Pull. Right in the middle, I'll take that. One more time. Pull.
Solid.
I've done it once or twice.
Well, let's start with that 5. I like that strategy. 5. Pull.
Here comes another one. Good shot.
You know, I can go off my experience right there, but I can also draw on the experience from yesterday.
Right.
I would say that it handled recoil surprisingly well. I thought this gun would punch a lot more. I did feel a little bit into my face, but nothing significant.
Yeah.
And part of that is gun fit. This gun's short for me.
Yeah.
Especially not wearing a lot of clothes.
You know, I have my target gun that I shoot all the time, 12 gauge, and, you know, obviously heavier shells, but in my opinion, it was pretty light. Your typical over and under recoil is kind of a quick pop, and, you know, nothing out of the ordinary there. It wasn't a recoil that would make me not want to shoot it again.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
for sure. And it's always fun to do, like yesterday, with guns side by side.
Right.
Because if I just came out here and just did a standard review, it's like, yeah, light recoil. And then I shoot a gun that's a pound heavier, and I was like, okay, I can see the difference.
Right.
But I would say it's marginal. In a 20 gauge, you would see a little more dramatic difference in a 12 gauge,
right,
probably.
From 20 to 12.
So just kind of want to throw that out there. You know, if you're hemming and hawing about recoil in a 20 gauge, specifically this gun, you kind of want to go light, but you don't want the recoil, I would say don't let that stop you.
Right, and you know, in a hunting scenario, when you've got a bird get up and we don't make a good move on the first shot and we have to have that follow-up, we want the gun to kind of stay in position and be ready for that second shot on quail or pheasant or chucker like we were doing yesterday. And so if the gun was kicking too much, that second shot would be delayed and the bird would be 20 yards further. I didn't feel like that ever happened yesterday. Okay, it was boom, boom. Not that we ever missed the first shot, right?
I know I didn't.
But if we did.
We shot pretty well yesterday.
We did shoot well. We did shoot well.
Which, you know, I never worry about in videos, because when we're doing a video like this, I'm not actually worried about hitting the clays. But when we get at the end of this video, we'll get a little more serious on hitting clays. And you can show me how it's done. Just a quick breakdown, you know, just a look at quality. We know Fabarm puts out quality guns. And you have actually the updated receiver there.
Yes,
I'll break this one down.
2025.
But recently Fabarm did an update on this shotgun, and the big change was on the breech of the receiver. So the one I have is not updated, the one we're shooting today. The one Travis has a steel insert on the breech of the receiver. Should lead to a little bit more longevity.
Super durable, and also, you know, if ever needed, you know, 20 years down the road and thousands and thousands and thousands of shells, this is a replaceable stainless steel breech. So
I like that.
Yeah, you know, it just gives you the option to pass this gun down 2 or 3 times and know that it's going to last forever.
So as far as lockup, it's all the way across the bottom. That was a standout for me, is this gun locking up. I don't think anyone's going to have issues from a quality standpoint.
Also pretty wood. I think it's cool to always see the different varieties of wood that come out.
Yeah, same model.
Yeah,
you're going to have different pieces of wood.
You know, same gun, just really cool grain in that one, in my opinion.
Everything comes together nicely. Just, it's, you know, you even put the forend on. Just how everything comes together is solid.
Right.
I can't say that enough. You don't see that on all over-under shotguns. Now, we are getting to a price point where you're kind of expecting everything to be pretty solid, but very impressed with this shotgun. I've had a lot of shotguns that are on the lighter side that beat the tar out of my face. Didn't experience that with this one. But the final test is going to be a little clay challenge.
I like competition.
I like competition too. I don't necessarily like competition with you, but I like competition. You know, your level should bring me to the next level. I gotta you know.
I don't mind helping,
Yeah.
you know.
How many sporting clay targets do you think you've shot in your life?
Oh, I don't know. Close to 500,000 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I'm going to be frank, actually out on a sporting clay course,
Right.
if I'm at 5,000,
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe. This last national championship was my 25th straight national championship to attend. I thought that was a cool accomplishment.
25th?
25th.
It was my first.
Overly committed to the sport, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some dedication.
Okay, so we're here at Greystone. They've got an awesome 5-stand just below the castle. Variety of targets. Let's do a competition here. We've got a true pair with one crosser from the left, one from the right. So it's the 4-6 combo.
How about we do twice?
Twice with a reload in the middle.
Yep.
I like it.
So we got to enter. You got to do it as fast as you can. Enter a little bit of panic. There's birds flushing. We got to get going.
How about when you close the gun, I'll pull the second pair.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh. Birds are getting away.
Another pair coming. There you go. Those are good shots.
3 out of 4.
That's all right. Leave the door open for me.
Here you go, buddy.
All right.
Show us how it's done.
All right. Cool. Oop. Let's get it. Let's get it. Go ahead and send it.
Ain't no doubt about it.
I messed up the load there, but still shot the birds pretty quick.
Yeah, you crushed them all.
The gun handle's so smooth, you know, I didn't have any hesitations there, so that was good.
No, you certainly don't. And I'm fascinated watching you. You shoot with such a degree of confidence where I feel like I'm still thinking through things, and you're just like, there it is, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Which I don't believe I do that as much when I'm out hunting.
Right. No, I don't. I mean, I saw you shoot yesterday. It was...
But the best shots I had yesterday were like the unpredictable ones.
Right.
Oh, this happened, I got to move and swing.
a little more instinctual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's something I need to work on. I think that just takes time on the range, but
yeah.
I'll do it in my free time.
Well, you know, so much of our shooting is throwing targets up in the air and not having any time with it, just throw, shoot, you know? And
right.
So when we have to move with a bird, it's a whole different game.
Yeah, exactly. Another competition down, another L for Steve, but it's all in good fun. My final thoughts, this Elos D2, if you're looking for a lightweight, great handling, good shooting Upland shotgun, this is definitely worthy of consideration. I've highly enjoyed it. It has impressed me in a lot of ways. Yeah, all around good shooter.
My first experience yesterday and today, the Fabarm Elos D2 would be a great gun in the field for me.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you helping out, and it's been a blast hanging out with you here at Greystone. And shout out to them for hosting us and allowing us to run around this amazing property and do all sorts of fun stuff.
Pretty incredible. Pretty incredible. You just seeing the castle and staying in the castle is about as much fun as going out and hunting, right?
And the food.
Oh, the food's over the top.
So much food. So much top-notch food. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Remember, whether you're in the field or in life, you're only going to hit those shots you're laser focused on. So live
the target-focused life.
See ya! What's up, everyone? Welcome to Target Focused Life. Today, we have Travis Mears. Hi.
Hey. If you had build-up, carbon build-up or anything like that, that bee just went in my ear. Did y'all see that? But he's encouraging me kind of that first impression when you get a new gun in your hands.
Yeah. I mean, that was it. I don't remember that. Did I really do that?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get any shots for a while. You were just hogging them all. Yeah, those are good shots.
3 out of 4.
That's all right. Leave the door open for me.
Yeah. That's getting hot, too.
The Fabarm Elos D2 would be a great gun in the field for me. I might have to have one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem with doing these reviews.
I know.
I'm just like, wait, I'm done with the review, but I want this gun still.
Yep, now I need one.
Maybe you know someone that could send some.
Maybe.